Ned is dead, Robb is fighting a war, Bran and Rickon are on the run, and Theon is left behind the walls of Winterfell. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment, another Game of Thrones review. This one is for Season 2, Episode 8, titled The Prince of Winterfell. And at this point, I don't even know who the Prince of Winterfell would be. I mean, I'm assuming it would be Robb Stark initially, but considering he is going by the name of King of the North, I highly doubt he's going to waste his time with the Prince of Winterfell garbage. So for me, that would pretty much be Bran, because he was kind of there holding the fort, albeit crippled and not really doing much. And now he's on the escape. Now he's just hugging the back of big Hodor
like Stark children.
So, I mean, I don't really know who the Prince of Winterfell is, but Winterfell has fallen.
Winterfell has fallen, and you can't even rule over your own house, your own home. Now, how can you rule over the North?
That is very true. But let's get into this review. So, we'll start with behind the wall. Beyond the wall, behind the wall, up the wall, under the wall, whatever. Ygritte brings Jon Snow before the Lord of Bones, and he wants him to be executed, but she says that, well, he could have executed me, so they allow him to live for some reason. They've already captured the other crow member, though, Qhorin, and apparently he doesn't need 2 crows for questioning, but I guess whatever. Ygritte reveals that Jon is, of course, the son of Ned, and I guess this buys him a little bit of time. Maybe even, I don't know, maybe even the wildlings like Ned Stark. Maybe they've got respect for Ned.
Like Ned. But yeah, they plan to use him as a spy, so how's that going to go down? Well, I mean, that's Qhorin's plan, to use him as a spy. But at the end of the day, this Beyond the Wall stuff's not really digging it for me. I like Jon Snow, but I feel
he's stuck in a shit arc.
He's been wasted.
For me, I mean,
I feel like he's been rolling about in the snow with this woman for 8 episodes.
I think that his whole the Night's Watch thing, I think that should have ended as soon as Robb went to war.
Yep.
See, when he was riding away and he was going to escape the wall and find his brother Robb and take on the land, I think that should have been the wall arc done. For me, Jon Snow served his time, gave it a try. He was stuck with all these other... It just doesn't make sense. I mean, he's stuck behind the wall with all these losers and bastards, and well, I guess he is a bastard, and rapists and shit like this, and thieves, and it's like, your guy just doesn't really belong there.
He doesn't. I just hope this doesn't last throughout the show. I know, I'm not saying Jon Snow, but even the wall, we don't need to see the wall for 7 seasons, do we? We get it, it's cold. That's about it. Unless
we see an update on the White Walkers, then what's the point of seeing the wall?
Yeah.
You know, the wall's there to protect against the White Walkers.
Like,
but
is Jon Snow even going to see any member of his family again?
I mean, it almost feels like it's a different show. It's like cut off from the rest of the universe. Anyway, I mean, that's that. But I don't get it. It's like, why are some people, like, confined to the wall, yet some people seem to have, like...
Benji can come back and forth?
Yeah, Benji comes back, and I know you had Yoren. I guess Yoren was more like a recruiter, so therefore... that made sense for him to leave, to bring in new losers to join the wall, but you get the feeling that a lot of the people that once they go to the wall, they never leave the wall.
Yep.
So do you have to get a high ranking in order to... I don't know, or is it because Benji is Ned Stark's brother?
He's Ned Stark's son.
True. I don't know how it works, but yeah, anyway. Also, Gren and Samwell Tarly, they find some dragon glass. I don't really quite know what that's got to do with anything, but they believe that Jon's probably dead.
It means people were there a long, long time.
Yeah, we then go to Quarth. Jorah Mormont advises Daenerys to leave her dragons behind and get out of here, but she doesn't want to do that. She thinks that these dragons are crucial and that she's willing to do anything to get them back, and that was pretty much it. Like, the less Quarth stuff we have to talk about, the better, so... I'm not going to complain, but you know what? I like the Jorah Mormont character, but similar to Jon Snow, he's just stuck in an arc. He's stuck in a location I don't really care for. Although I do prefer the wall over Quarth.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but it's just 2 locations that I'm not caring for. I mean, Daenerys, she even gets buried at King's Landing. Ashes a million miles away. Don't worry about her. And that's kind of what I feel like. It's like, see until you buy a boat. Don't show me Daenerys. I don't care.
Does she really need a boat? Can you just fly on the fucking dragons? Or
what? half a centimetre tall.
That's true. Winterfell, Yara Greyjoy arrives with a small band of men. Theon thinks she's bringing reinforcements, but the only thing she's there to do is to basically accompany Theon back and take him back home because it's dangerous to be at Winterfell. Theon says he's not going anywhere. He took this castle. He's going to defend it. She says that she doesn't want her brother to die, but he says he's not going anywhere. He believes that he's going to be, I don't know, the Lord of Winterfell, I guess, the Prince of Winterfell for a long time to be. And then she just tells him, like, be careful, brother. And she leaves, essentially. And we have Theon left on his own. I don't get it. Why would they let Theon go to the wall? Why take over Winterfell, then give it up? It makes no sense to me. Ned Stark even said you don't need a lot of men to defend Winterfell. He says that 500 good men can keep Winterfell safe from 10,000 people on the outside.
Are these good men though? They seem a bit shite. Yeah, I think
it just seems like it was an awful, like, it wasn't hard because he took it from bloody Bran, you know what I mean? But it's like, why win Winterfell just to give it away?
Yeah, but he's almost did too much to leave anyway, I would say. I mean, he's killed people. People think he's murdered the Stark boys. Do we think? Only time will tell in that matter, man. Also,
we get revealed here that Bran and Rickon are alive, so...
This actually ended the episode. We knew they weren't dead. Everybody... something that's so obvious shouldn't end the episode for me. Not that there was anything particularly else in this episode that could have ended it, but come on. Obviously they weren't dead. Everybody knew it. Like, once you've seen, what's her name alive? Osa alive, she's hardly just feeding Odor.
Odor
one
give
bread.
Odor food.
Give food.
Odor food. In the Blackwater Bay, Stannis Baratheon's fleet is closing in on King's Landing. They're going to be there soon. Stannis tells Davos that he admires him and that he is going to make him the hand of the king once he takes the throne, which of course Davos is happy about, honoured about. I think that's a good appointment for Stannis, and we learn a little bit more about Stannis' backstory and how he had to survive on rats and dogs and horses because he defended, can't remember the name of the place he defended, but he defended it.
Whatever place Robert gave to Renly, he defended it.
Yeah, and that's bullshit. So I mean, Stannis Baratheon basically held out for like a year defending this place, having to eat fucking all sorts of shite. He essentially held the fort. He withstood the attack, and then King Robert's like, oh, you know, thanks for holding down this place, but we're going to give it to Bender Renly. I mean, how does that make any sense?
Probably because he wanted his weaker brother to have the strongest place, in case maybe Stannis tried a rebellion of some kind. I don't know. Thinking out loud here, Amano.
Now, Robert says that he never loved his brothers like he loved Ned, and that Ned was the true brother that he never picked. But, I mean, does King Robert care more for Renly than he does Stannis? We never see Stannis and King Robert interact in the show, whereas we see Robert and Renly interact, but I wouldn't say Robert and Renly ever really.
See, once Stannis, right, or Renly... Well, Renly was there, though, when all that stuff was going down with Ned and Robert. They should have acted immediately. See, as soon as Stannis got whiff that big Jon Arryn guy was, you know, he was killed in mysterious circumstances, he should have got a big boat over there straight away.
Yeah, what was Stannis doing?
Or Robert, but Robert was, I don't know, man, it's like, why are they all making moves now? They should have made moves years ago.
Should Ned, I know that's a long time ago, do you think Ned shot the gun? Do you think Ned should have, he told Stannis that he's the true heir, do you think Ned should have waited till Stannis arrived?
Probably.
Or would it made any difference?
Yeah.
What would it made any... Ned's a dumb bastard, man, thinking that he's going to use the city's night watch to actually take over for the Lannisters.
I know. Come on, Ned. You deserve to get your head cut off.
Like, surely there was other ways to go about it. Like, Ned should have waited for enforcements.
No, of course there was other ways to go around it, but Big Ned Stark bottled it. And
he didn't bottle it, like he kind of...
No, he didn't.
He should have bottled it.
Yeah, well, he should have bottled it up, but he didn't. The bottle burst.
Broke. King's Landing, Tyrion is scouring the history books for inspiration on how to defend the city, but Bronn says that, you know, these books don't mean shit, and unless he's planning to throw them at the attackers, which I guess is kind of true. King Joffrey is talking about how he wants to fight and how he would stop Stannis, but his mother won't let him, which is kind of
So Joffrey's
bullshit.
17. I would assume Joffrey was younger than that. Not much younger than that, but I'm surprised he's 17. He's pathetic though. This guy would get cut in half by any person capable with a sword. Unless the Hound's beside him, which is most likely.
Yeah, that is pretty much it. We have Cersei who captures Ross the prostitute, believing that it's Tyrion's lover. She's holding her hostage to try and have leverage over Tyrion, but she doesn't realise that she is actually Tyrion's lover, whore, or whatever, so it doesn't really matter. And then Tyrion says that he will make Cersei pay for this, so
He did a good job of making it look realistic.
but for me, the best thing from King's Landing was Tyrion and Fairies discussing the battle, the upcoming battle.
Absolutely, that was definitely the best thing. They were talking about Daenerys, they were talking about Stannis, talking pretty much about what's going to happen. But what's Viserys going to do, man? The guy's a
No, Fairies.
Fairies, aye, that's the guy.
Viserys is the guy that got the gold poured over his head.
Aye, and then
Season
you've got Viserys, who's from
Aye.
House of the Dragon. All similar sounding names, and they're all a bit pathetic in their own right, aren't they?
Yeah, at Harrenhal, Lord Tywin Lannister is torn between needing to defend King's Landing and wanting to drive King Robb Stark from the Westerlands, so he doesn't know what he's going to do. His brother Kevin warns that Stannis will execute Cersei and Joffrey after capturing the city. So that leaves Tywin Lannister, I guess, with a dilemma. What's he going to do? He decides he's going to march west. He leaves Arya at Harrenhal with the mountain. It's not really good company. And she realises that she's missed her chance to kill Tywin because he is now left. But she manages to get Yaquin Hagar to aid her in escaping, and he basically takes out all the guards at the front of the... I don't know, the front of
The front of Harrenhal.
The front of Harrenhal.
What I would say is, right, it does not make more sense for Tywin to go back to King's Landing, because Stannis and Robb, not exactly on the greatest of terms. Fight, get your two enemies to fight potentially on the walls. But would Robb go all the way back? Would Robb take his army to King's Landing? Is that the end game?
Where else do you think he's going?
Well, I know, but he's kind of been delayed by Tywin, but by Tywin delaying Robb, it's allowed Stannis a free passage in.
Yeah, what if King Robert gets it? Well, King Robb. What if Robb gets there and Stannis has already beat him to it?
Yeah, what's the game plan?
Just go do a 180 and go home.
But see, that's how it doesn't work in these times. I mean, if it was today, you just gave him a phone call, right, Stannis, son?
Hold up, Stannis, I'll be there in 5 minutes. I'll be your backup.
Aye.
But you know what? Stannis is a tool. You know what? As much as I think he is the rightful heir, like, Renly was willing to be allies with Robb because he was happy to basically give Robb independence of the North. But Stannis was viewing that as, oh, I'm losing a piece of the pie. You know, who gives a shit?
I mean, you could argue it's plot purposes, right? But if Stannis teamed up with Robb, they could just wipe out Tywin's entire army. Then they could work together and take over King's Landing like a piece of piss.
Well, I don't know if it'd be a piece of piss, like, 'cause I think they'd still be outnumbered, but, aye, I get your reasoning, but, I mean...
I think they'd be outnumbered, wouldn't they?
Fucking Stannis hasn't got anybody, fuck.
So what's he dead then?
He's got a couple of boats and some fire magic.
No, he's got more than a couple of boats.
Well, he might have a couple of boats, but Renly was the one that had the numbers. It just makes...
But Stannis took a lot of them.
I know, but most of them were the Tyrell people. They're for...
No, I think Stannis has got about a couple of 80,000 people at his door.
Nah, the Tyrells, man, they were the ones who...
No, he got the bannermen. It was the Tyrells that left, but he took the bannermen.
But there wasn't many bannermen.
There was about 100,000 bannermen.
No, that was like...
The bannermen and their people.
That was like the Tyrells. That's why Renly was going to be...
Hold on, right? If Stannis just has a couple of ships, and why are King's Landing bottling it?
That's why Renly couldn't...
Would a couple of books not do then?
That's why Renly couldn't just team up with Stannis and take a place in this council, because then he would have lost his Tyrell army. Because the Tyrell army is only going to stay with Renly if he's going to be king, because that makes Margaery queen. But if Renly's like, I'll just be the heir to you, Stannis, the Tyrell army's not going to fucking give themselves to Renly if he's not going to be the king, is he?
I know, but I'm pretty sure that they actually are. They've backed Stannis here.
Who? The Tyrells?
No, not the Tyrells, but like a lot of their people have.
Aye, the rest of them, but that wasn't that
What do you
many.
mean the rest of it? He had 100,000 people.
Aye, but they were mostly made up of the Tyrell army. What part of that are you not getting?
Yeah, but with Robb Stark's people and Stannis' people, I think they outnumber the Lannisters and whoever they've got easy. Because how can Robb Stark not be losing battles if he's outnumbered? See, Stannis hasn't even got his hands dirty yet. Well, apart from the weird black fucking squid monster.
Well, Davos hasn't really got his hands dirty yet.
Davos has done nothing.
He's not got hands.
Why he doesn't?
Hand.
Aye, hand. Hand of the king with one hand. Brilliant.
Yeah, so Arya, Hot Pie and Gendry. When's this Hot Pie guy going to die?
I know, what's he doing, man?
And in the Westerlands, Robb is furious after he learns that his mother has freed his most important captive, Jaime Lannister. So, I don't know what Catelyn's done here. I guess she has arranged a deal with Brienne to escort Jaime to King's Landing in exchange for her daughters. Although she doesn't know at this point, they don't even have Arya. And it's like, let's say Brienne does turn up with Jaime Lannister. She's one person. Like, Ned Stark had King Robert's fucking stamp.
What's stopping as soon as she hands her over, them just killing this woman?
Yeah, do you think they're really going to hand over
And
Sansa?
also, right, they don't have Arya, I guess they don't know that, right? But see Sansa, what's stopping them being like, no, it's King Joffrey wants her.
Yeah, that's his wife, that's
He's
his
the
queen.
fucking king. Yeah, ridiculous. Catelyn Stark's just full of ridiculous decisions, man. Back in season 1 as well.
For this to work, it's almost like you would have to march with like an entire army and meet them and like have a trade-up offer right there.
No wonder Robb's pissed off, and I completely back the guy that lost his sons. Well, what is this all about?
Yeah,
Stark,
he's no happy, but there you go. Robb then seeks, he falls into the arms of Talisa. He says he doesn't want to marry one of Walter Frey's ugly daughters. He wants to marry her. And they end up getting together and having sex. Meanwhile, Roose Bolton's bastard, I guess he's right outside Winterfell. But Robb says he's going to allow everyone to escape, but Theon has to be captured alive. So there you go.
Yeah, Theon's not looking good for him, but you know what? Catelyn betrayed Robb, so this deal with Mr. Frey can go out the window.
And in terms of deaths, we had Borber, Harker, and Stone Snake. Now, if you could tell me who any of them are, I'd be impressed.
It's not quite Solid Snake, is it?
It's not. Anyway, guys, there you go. Time for the rating. The Prince of Winterfell. What you giving this one?
I'm going to give it a 5. I think it's just very boring. And it's just like... You know what, right? I can forgive all this if they deliver, like, one of the greatest finales of a season of all time, but I don't think they're going to do that.
2 episodes to go. Will it be up to standard? Are we going to see some great TV?
Stannis standard. What are you giving it?
I'll give it a 6.
Fair enough. Boom.
I think Tyrion Lannister's probably been the standout for me in season 2.
Him and Tywin.
Tywin's
wee talks.
Anyway, guys, that's it. 5.5 out of 10. We'll catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.